Hi. Hello, good evening. After a really trying and stressful day, I actually ended up getting a phone call from Nuneaton and Bedworth Borough Council to tell me that my homeless application has now been forwarded to another team who are going to now help me with supporting me and my children with accommodation. You're probably looking at me, and yes, I do a lot of videos in the bath. One of the reasons for that isn't because I want people to watch me having a wash. It's because it's the only thing that helps me with my pain in my knee and my abdomen. Is hot water. And you're probably thinking, have I cut my hair? Or had my hair cut? And the answer is yes. Unfortunately, in a fit of rage this afternoon, I just grabbed a pair of scissors and just started hacking away at my hair. I was so frustrated with everything that has been going on over the last 5 weeks. But not just the last 5 weeks. I mean, over the last 3 years, I've been trying to liaison with environmental health. I've been trying to liaison with my children's schools, with my landlord, with trying to stay sane, taking my medication, going for all the tests. And this year has just been such a battle mentally and physically. And I've not felt this insane or this out of control or feeling like no matter what I do or no matter what I say, no one is listening to me, no one is hearing anything that I am saying for a good 10 years. The last time I cut my hair was in 2012. The time after that would have been just after my niece had been born. And I remember going to her christening and my hair was a bit like it is today. So it was long on one side and short on the other. Because I had it in a ponytail. Today I had it in a plait. And I just got the scissors and I just cut it. At first I tried to do it with a knife. But that didn't work. So I ended up doing it with the scissors instead. And whenever I do it, it never goes straight. It always looks like a piece of shit. And the hairdresser obviously won't be able to do anything with my hair for at least 6 months. If I want it to be cut to a reasonable length, and then obviously to grow out any of the short clumpy bits that will be at the back of the head. But at the same time, I just don't care at this moment. I mean, I was just so pissed off with waking up every morning and every time I tried to brush my hair or wash my hair or, I'd just be like sitting, standing, whatever. The amount of hair that I just kept losing. I mean, everyone kept saying to me, your hair looks really, really thin. Have you been looking after yourself? And I'm like, yeah, of course I have. And I used to have real thick, luscious hair, just like my sister. And she cut hers quite short. Hers was even shorter than this. And now she's regrowing it. And it has come back and it is thick and it is lush and it's absolutely gorgeous. So I'm thinking, okay, yeah, all right, I got really pissed off and it was like, oh, fuck this shit, I was literally at the point where I'm ripping my hair out of my head. Every time I run my fingers through my hair, clumps of it are just coming out. It's knotted, it's matted, it's just an absolute piece of shit to deal with that I just cut it. And I'm hoping that in the new year, when I've paid to get it sorted properly, which won't be until after I am rehoused, so I'm not even going to have it restyled or anything until I'm rehoused, so this is how it's going to stay. It will come back better. And hopefully when it does start growing back better, even though I am in my 40s and your hair does thin out with old age, it will come back better. But one of the things it will do, unfortunately, I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing, is now that it hasn't got that extra added weight, every time I wash it, you can probably see here, it will start to spring up. And if I make the assertive effort to crunch my hair and, really working moose or whatever, because I've got loads of stuff to use up before I leave this property, you probably won't even notice the length difference. But people have noticed that I have had my hair cut. But obviously, until I did this video, no one was aware that I'd actually done it myself. And again, it was because I've just felt so angry and so pissed off with everything that's been going on. I was like, I've just got to fucking do something, because I've just had enough. And that is what I ended up doing. I ended up cutting my hair again. And now it's one of those things I've got to live with. And unfortunately, I do know that short hair does not suit my frame of my face. I have quite a fat face. I have what I call a pumpkin face. And another thing, obviously, that's happened, you can probably see here as well, because I've been so stressed, I've had to recut my nails again. I've literally been scratching at my skin to the point that I have caused damage and obviously outbreaks of acne. And I'm just at that point now where it's just like, I just don't know what to do. And I know there's people worse off than me out there in the world, which then makes me feel even worse internally, because not only can I not help myself at the moment, but I can't help anyone else either. And I just keep thinking, oh my God, today is the light switch on for the Neaton and Bedworth Borough Council. And they're more happy to pay for fireworks to be let off on top of the council house roof than to support people who are homeless within the borough. When they're talking about, saving money and not spending it, on shit that we don't really need as a society. That's one of the things, we do not need. I know they say, it used to be when I was younger, going to Bonfire Night or going to any event that was in the town centre, like the light switch on and stuff, would literally help to boost the economy, especially before Christmas. But we have just got into this black hole as a species where people haven't got the money anymore. People can't go to the cinema, people can't go to pubs or clubs or, and yet we have this added pressure that we put on ourselves to buy each other this crap that we don't need, especially at Christmas time. And, and parents especially are putting us so much pressure psychologically. And you've got to think to yourself, you know what, fuck that shit. I don't need it. By Christmas, I'm not even going to have a house. So I don't need anything. I don't want anything. The only thing I need is my children to be safe, well, and happy, know that they are loved, and to have a roof over my head. And as much as I'd like to support small businesses and boost the economy and all that, when people cannot afford to have a roof over their head, the last thing they're going to want to do is spend money on shit they don't need. And it's one of them. It's a double-edged sword. You go to work to support yourself in order to have a house. But in order to do that, you've got to have customers. But if all your customers, unfortunately, you're losing your customer base, because they're in a situation where they're not making enough money to be housed themselves. It's just like this vicious circle at the moment that everybody seems to be in. And I just think something has got to give. But what is that thing that's got to give? With myself, if I wasn't being made homeless over Christmas, I probably would have been one of these parents that, would have said to their children, oh, you know what, let's go to the light switch on. Oh, let's go and support local, small, independent artists and people who are into artisan things, who are standing there in the cold trying to make ends meet. Because the majority of the shops, again, they're closed because people cannot afford to pay the rent. And this isn't just in Neaton and Bedworth, this is all over the country. And because I am being made homeless, that's one customer that they have now lost. But it's not just me. There are loads and loads of people, like I keep saying, who are being made homeless before Christmas this year because of the new rules and regulations that are coming in. A lot of landlords are selling up in the private rented market, and they are Section 21ing their tenants. And it has just got to the point where local authorities just cannot support that amount of homelessness. And I'm like, well, you know, what am I to do? What is anyone in this situation supposed to do? You know, and it's one of them. And it's just, I don't think there is you can't just wave a magic wand and everything would be better by tomorrow morning. That is just stupid. But at the moment, it's just like, we've just got into such a black hole as a species that I don't know how anyone is supposed to climb out of it, to be honest. And it is really, really, really hard. I mean, wouldn't be my video without a yawn. But like I'm saying, I mean, you know, I thought I had a tough life as a child, but I would say that my children are struggling 100 times more in today's society than what I did in the 80s and the 90s. But, you know, please comment. It'd be great to hear someone's views. But like I said, it's not going to be all one size fits all. I mean, they tried to penalise people by saying, don't have more than 2 children. If you do, we're not going to help you. And all that did was fuck up the schools and fuck up the nurseries or anything that was child-related. Fantastic in Nuneaton that would have probably been booming with kids, especially during the summer holidays, has now closed because their clientele no longer exist, because the majority of them, like my child, my youngest is 7, they've aged out. And people cannot afford to have kids at the moment. And those that can are probably in the same situation as me, you know, where they're not homeowners. They are renting in the private market and they are being paid national minimum wage, which, you know, most people are, unfortunately. Not everybody with a law degree or, you know, or with any formal qualifications is being paid above that at the moment, because for, you know, even if you work for the NHS, you're not getting paid more than national minimum wage for most jobs. And because of that, you know, they're forced into the private market sector and they're having to work over 40 hours a week just to pay somebody else's mortgage. And they're told, no, you can't have a mortgage yourself. And I had that from the age of 20. I kept trying to get a mortgage, and every time I applied, it was, you're not entitled, you're not entitled, you're not earning enough, you're not earning enough, you're not earning enough. Yet, here I am paying almost £1,000 a month in rent in 2025. So, you know, if somebody is having to pay £1,000 a month to rent somebody else's house, why can they not then be given a mortgage? Or why has the government not got properties where they own them? So they're not owned by private individuals or private companies. They're actually owned by the local councils, a bit like a council house, where, you know, you have the right to buy if you want to. Obviously, you can't buy straight away, but you have to rent for so many years. But that money would then go back into the economy in order to build more properties for people that needed them. I'm not saying get rid of private housing at all. There's always going to be a need for private housing. There's always going to be a need for social housing. There's always going to be a need for council housing. But the way that it is allocated and the way that it is supported and needs to be looked at again, because if you're paying £1,000 a month to rent somebody else's house, why can you then not be paying that money towards a house of your own? Okay, all right, take care. If you want to make a comment, please do so. But again, anything that is abusive or discriminatory against myself or anyone else will be removed. Thank you for now and enjoy your evening.